The next stage in our drawing is to start to introduce some perspective, and we're going to do that by turning the leaf away. I've got a different leaf for this now. It's the same Camellia plant, slightly smaller one. You try it with different leaves and see how you get on. And so far what we've done is a portrait drawing, which is a face-on flat image of a leaf, like so. And now we're going to tilt that leaf away. Now what stays the same and what changes is the width of the leaf stays the same as long as you don't move it further away from you. If you move it further away, obviously it's smaller, but if you keep it in the same position and just rotate it, the width will be the same and the height will change. It gets shorter, and that's the same whichever way you look at it, whether it's from the side or the front. The width's the same and the height changes. So I've put one into the helping hand clamp here and rotated it away from me, and it's exactly the same process as last time. You're going to hold your ruler next to it, in front of it. Again, you've got to keep consistent with this, with the distance of everything, otherwise you're measuring everything at different distances, and keep the angle of your ruler straight, not twisted in any direction, but try and keep it as straight as possible and measure the maximum height. Close one eye to do it. Maximum height 37, and the maximum width in the same place is 50, so 37 by 50. I've still got a fairly straight midrib here. All that's happening really is we're losing the tip of the leaf as it's curving away. So it's a fairly straightforward drawing. Again, it's exactly the same as last time, and we start off in the same way by creating a box with those dimensions in it. So 37 high, by 50 wide. A little bit of variation, but not much. Now if you box everything in like this, you can't go wrong. And I do this with everything really, whatever I'm drawing in on a plant, a flower, whatever, I box it in to start with, width and height. So we have the midrib is in the centre again. It should be about 25, and it is. Obviously you're going to be seeing things slightly different position than I'm seeing them. Now within that box area we'll be looking at our widest point, and our widest point is about, if we move the ruler next to it, the widest point is about there. So looking at it from the side, the 37 measurement, it's about 22 from the bottom. It's about there, and that's actually probably enough for me to work on. Now what I'm seeing here is a shape that's coming out and in as a sort of slightly higher level heart shape almost, but not indenting. And think of that whole shape really, rather than thinking of it's got a slimmer indent at the top. Again, if we put the ruler alongside of it, I'll show you seeing this. See how much of an indent we have curving in at the bottom. We put a straight line across the top compared to the top. It's small there and it's large here. At the top, have a small indent where it's curving away, and the midrib is about just under 2 millimeters on this one. And of course we've got the petiole at the base there. And we measure the width of that as well. That's 2.5. So that's roughly the shape of the leaf. And we can make amendments to that, taper it in a little bit there, and rub out any working lines. Oh, with the veins again, same as before. I'm going to take that vein here from the top is 16. It's actually splitting right up there and going up. So there is 5, and to the point where the junction is 12. So 15. So point where its junction is about 7 from the centre. It's 12 there on the top. And I think we said it was 5 just in from the edge, which is there. So that's a vein that's going in this direction and up to there, and then splitting again. Once you've got one vein in like that, it's much easier to plot the rest. You can measure all of these if you want to. I've just put one more in just for... And that one on the base is 25. Another one here. And one just disappearing there. So as you can see, the same process again. Same process with the serrated edge as well. Being careful to keep an eye on the direction and size of the serrations. They kind of disappear at the end. I would repeat that for the other side as well. So that's fairly simple perspective on that one. Now I'm going to rotate it a little bit more. So we've rotated it more again. Again, the width should be much the same. Widest point is, yes, 50. And the height in the same position is maximum height I'm looking for. That's the highest point along the top, is around about 18. So it's quite a lot narrower in height. So it's 50 wide and 18 high. So again, we draw a box. And it's surprising how much shorter it is when you rotate it like that. You think maybe in your mind you're thinking more of the whole leaf shape, but it's actually much shorter than you think it is. In the centre again, because we've still got the midrib is running. Just make sure it's straight for you on camera a bit more. It's a fairly boring angle actually. It's actually a triangle. It's tilting slightly down at one side. So we know it's 50 wide, so it's 25 as the centre. It's dipping very slightly in the centre here. And slightly lower on this side, got some bumps here. centre. This side's slightly higher. Now it's going to come to about here. So we've got a bit of a downturn on the angle here. It's coming down at a slight angle here. That's going to be something like that. So tidy it up, move that line. Obviously, when the tilt is as much as this, the serrations are much closer together because they're moving away and in front of one another almost. I'm drawing this in a lot heavier than I would normally draw it so that you can see it as well. I can barely see any of those connecting veins now at that angle. There's an indication on this. I'm going to draw them in quite a bit heavier, like so. So I've just done one side there of each one, and you complete that in the same way as you did for that first drawing. Now, the angle I can't quite see the back, but the next angle that it'll be at is where I start to see the back, and then I can start to turn it as well slightly, so we have a different perspective again. Now, what we have there, move that down again, is a different angle and a different width and height again. What's important here is the continuation of the midrib, and what it's creating is two separate shapes. If you can see, we've got this shape here and we've got this V shape here where it's turning over, but we have to continue that line to come out at the back. It's the same method though, it's the same method of measuring. So if you put a straight line against the side of it as well, you can see the angles. You're going to have to look a lot at the angles across the top. It's fairly straight. And at the side, you've got a big curve on that side. We've got a steep line on this side, that angle. And we've got that V shape there, so more complicated, and that's what we're going to look at next. But there you've completed a very simple line drawing of the leaf turning away from you, and you can do the same thing the other way. You can put that into the clamp, get another one, I'll put the same one into the clamp, coming towards you like so. So you could start at an angle like this and rotate it round and up until you see the base of it. Now we've got the midrib line going off centre slightly and coming over the top. And we have this triangle here. We have this kind of almost heart shape here beneath it, you see? So you think about those shapes as well now when you start to get into more complex rotations of the leaf.